All right. Hi, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So, you might be seeing some new faces. As you guys know, this channel was mainly FPL content, FPL Duo. Uh, 1 second. I can hear feedback, guys.
So, yeah, I can hear it too.
Yeah, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I'm on mute. It shouldn't be on mine.
So it's not my.
At 2 6. Sorry about that. That was my mic. Yeah, just a quick intro again. Yeah, so my channel, as you guys know, was predominantly FPL content. I've decided, alongside Jordan, to sort of rebrand and do a football channel just to change it up a bit. I've got some new fresh faces with me, as you guys will see. You'll recognize Jordan, as always. And then I've also got Manny, bottom left, with myself, a good mate of mine, big Liverpool fan. And then I've also got Fahid, bottom right, who's also a big Arsenal fan. So we just thought we'd do something new today, trial it out. Let us know how you guys feel about the new content and the topics we're going to discuss. And if you enjoy it, obviously hit the like button and stay subscribed. I've been a bit quiet on this channel, but I plan to sort of grow it again and hopefully you know grow it with the guys. So yeah, let's kick it off then. What should we talk about first? Diaz. I think we should maybe start there because it's probably the latest sort of news that's broke. But I'll start with you, Manny. Obviously, as you're a Liverpool fan, I won't give my thoughts on this one. I'll start with you. What have you made of this Diaz move? Obviously, it's been broken now that in the news he's off to Bayern, 65 million fee, and medical. I think is tomorrow. He's flew out from the training camp. How do you think of it? What's your initial thoughts and reaction to it?
Are you a little bit quiet, Manny?
Your
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Can you hear me any better now?
yeah, I
Ah,
can hear
nice
you
one.
a bit
Yes.
better.
Ah, brilliant. I was always a big fan of Diaz, to be honest. I was one of those that wanted him to stay, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah,
Obviously, the thing with his contract, it's kind of been in the background for like a couple of years now. I think everyone kind of expected it to come to a head at some point, because I think it's kind of well broadcasted that Diaz isn't one of the highest paid players at Liverpool, put it that way.
yeah,
They're gonna say he's not amongst the highest paid players or even the second most highest paid players. So there was always gonna be some sort of standoff there. I think at the end of the day, when you kind of weigh up everything that's happened, obviously he seemed like he was pretty adamant to leave. So
yeah,
situations like that, you can't really begrudge what's happened. Like, obviously, got no bad feeling to him. I think he handled himself pretty respectfully. Always gave 100%. He was just one of them players. Like, he was just always just grinded every game. Like,
yeah.
you can never really question his attitude or nothing like that. So yeah, I'm personally like sad to see him leave, but at the same time, like, I understand why he's got to leave, and to get the fee that we did for him was a big, big, big plus. So yeah, all in all, obviously sad to see him go, but yeah, we still got a good positive out of it.
Yeah, you mentioned the fee. Obviously, it is quite a big fee. I think it's the second bid. First one rejected was around, I think, 57 million pounds. And
Yeah.
then they came back with 65 million. So yeah, in terms of the fee, are you surprised? We've managed to get that sort of fee, or do you think for the market, when you look at it right now, it's? So I've seen a lot of chat about it. Have we sort of got a really good deal? Have they overpaid? What do you make of the actual fee?
It's a weird one, is it? Because of his age, like, you're inclined to feel that they've overpaid, because there's just a thing in football right now, which is kind of justified. Like, when you're heading towards your 30s, you're automatically kind of just seen as a depreciating value asset. So yeah, it's a hard one, I think. And in football at the moment, from what I can kind of see from it, when you're doing these negotiations, everyone's just trying to use leverage. Everyone's using other deals as references. They're using other players going for this amount as their reference, and yeah, they're just kind of using these different case studies to justify putting prices on their players. And if you look at it that way, then Edwards and Hughes, mainly Hughes probably would have done that as a tactic. You know, you see the wingers going out at the moment. Obviously, you got Alanga. He probably kicked this all off, going for 50 million. That kind of sets pace, to be fair, because obviously Chelsea already referenced that deal for the Madueke price, and you know people are gonna now. I can imagine Hughes is probably saying, okay, Madueke's gone for this price, Alanga for this price. Diaz had a better season than both of them last year, scored more goals, did this kind of stuff. So already, just by pure logic for the Premier League rate, you can justify bumping it up by 10 to 15 million. Plus the fact that Bayern were fairly kind of desperate because they were already in the market for an attacker, missed out on quite a few of them, and then get the unfortunate injury to Musiala. So, yeah, I don't think you can say they overpaid. I think they're getting a player in his prime. We wanted to keep him for another couple of years. We're going to give him a contract, which I didn't personally agree with, but I can understand both sides. They weren't going to give him a contract that was going to make him play his last 2 years and kind of maximize his prime, which is kind of smart, to be fair. But obviously Diaz didn't want that. So yeah, I think Bayern kind of had to do what they had to do to get a good player in. They have got a good player in my opinion. I think he'll actually do really well in that league, and in that system as well. So yeah, I think it's a fair deal. I think we got a fair price for the going rate in the market, and I think it would be good for them, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, you know, the Diaz fee, I think it's one of those deals that makes sense for sort of all parties. I think Liverpool are pretty happy they've got a big fee, which will allow them to go on to buy. You know, we'll come on to in a second. Bayern have got a pretty good player, and Diaz also gets the big contract at 28 now. So I think it's the move sort of suits all parties, and everyone's sort of happy in this deal. So yeah, I think it's a great bit of business, but I do want to get the thoughts of these two gentlemen on the right. Obviously, as United and Arsenal fan, we'll come on to Fahid first. As a Arsenal fan, what have you made it of this move? I mean, does the fee surprise you, like that top end fee, or did you always feel like Liverpool would hold out and sort of get that? And you know, what are your thoughts on the player? And do you think it's a good move for Diaz?
Firstly, I think like the fee is like pretty amazing. It's a great job from Liverpool. When I'm thinking about the assets Arsenal are trying to sell, we've got Leandro Trossard, who's I believe outperformed Diaz for the last couple of seasons in terms of goals and assists in the league. Someone can fact check me on that. I'm sure it's pretty close. And we're probably struggling to sell him. It might be a loan or we just keep him for another year. There's clearly like a massive issue with the club with Arsenal selling players, and Liverpool don't really seem to struggle with that, getting the right fees for Diaz. I think he's a good player. I think there's something in the game now where there's not as many players that can dribble the ball at speed, and I think Diaz is one of them. So I think you can put all the stats aside. Trossard cannot dribble with speed, hence why no one's interested in him. Diaz can move at speed, can strike the ball well, and he's had good stints. It's about him finding consistency. I think if Bayern can unlock a level of consistency in him, then, like you said, it will be a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense, especially when you come on to what Liverpool are planning to do incomings-wise, and that allows them to sort of offset and go again with the funds generated. Jordan,
Yes.
obviously you've been watching Diaz for Liverpool. He's pretty much won everything. I think one Premier League, FA Cup, two Carabao Cups, Community Shield if you include that. What have you made of Diaz's sort of, obviously as a United fan, you're looking at this window, Liverpool are spending quite a lot of money. What are your thoughts on this sort of move? And do you think Liverpool will miss Diaz? Because he has been an important, played an important role last season in a title winning side.
Yeah, absolutely. Diaz moving from Liverpool is going to be huge. A massive gap to fill, a lot of boots to fill for his position. And yeah, as a Man United fan, he was my favourite Liverpool player to watch. Obviously, when he joined Liverpool, like straight from the beginning, he's one of those players that he knew how to approach a situation, how to get around players, and yeah, absolutely one of my favourites to watch. Shame, obviously, he's leaving now to Bayern Munich for 65 million, and that's very good player.
Yeah, you mentioned when he first joined, the first 6 months, I think he was electric, sort of a spark plug. Sort of helped us win that Carabao Cup, and then obviously Champions League run as well. We ended up losing the final, but that first 6 months he was sort of unbelievable. But then since then, I think he's not been the same. Obviously, he had the injury. he had the issues with his dad being kidnapped and stuff like that. So it was a bit up and down, but yeah, I think it's a good fee in the end, and yeah, all in all, I think it suits all parties. But let's move on to what that means for Liverpool in terms of incomings, because Liverpool have spent a lot of money. I think £295 million spent, but they have recouped a significant amount as well. Manny, I know you're smiling. Isak, the Bomba. What do you make of this Isak stuff? Because let's rewind it back to maybe January, February. Also, we were looking at Isak maybe from afar as a dream, unrealistic. What have you made of these, sort of links the last couple of weeks, and that interest being firmed up now? And we're getting reports, reliable reports saying, this move it's got legs.
Yeah, man, it's almost surreal, really, just the whole transfer window from Liverpool. Like it's when it first, obviously, like you said, I think Isak was a bit of a pipe dream for all Liverpool fans. Like every time we played against that guy, he always gave us the toughest times, scored some great goals against us. Like, yeah, it's just one of those players that no matter how we played against Newcastle, I think one thing everyone would leave the game thinking is that Isak is quality. That's the kind of effect he has. And we desperately needed a striker. I think, obviously, with the massively tragic circumstances of Diogo Jota, God rest his soul, and obviously Nunes again with like Diaz not really finding the consistency. Striker was a position that we just needed to kind of throw the kitchen sink at. And I'll be completely honest, like I was happy with Ekitike. Like Ekitike is a player that I really rated beforehand when I was looking at strikers that we should go and get, and we should look at. Ekitike was definitely at the top of the list after, obviously, I think Isak and Alvarez, for example, are like the two top candidates that people speak about, but for obvious reasons always seemed unrealistic. So Ekitike was top of the list of players that I saw as attainable and good fit to our system. And yeah, I was really looking forward to him. I still am, to be fair, because he's going to be a great asset. But when I hear that we're still interested in Isak, that just flips everything on its head, really. Do you know what I mean? Like it really just flips everything on its head. And then all of a sudden, yeah, perspective just changes completely. Like you're thinking in your head, like, so I can see Isak and Ekitike. We're gonna get both. Like it's insane, man. And it's just following suit of the kind of window we're having. Like they've started off with a real bang. Obviously, Frimpong was the first one in, and that was kind of earlier in the window. But ever since they kind of dropped the works bomb, it's like they haven't looked back. And yeah, if they pulled this one off, the worst one was incredible. But if they pulled this one off, it would be like nothing I've ever seen from this club in my lifetime, I'll be honest, in terms of a transfer window.
Yeah, I mean, we're sort of similar ages. So I've been watching football in Liverpool. I've not seen us operate like this in the market for forever, really. The last time I think we bought a player, I can't remember, maybe Torres, where he's like that level of player back in 07. But even then, Torres don't know if he had the interest. But yeah, we're making sort of big moves. Going back to sort of Isak, obviously it's going to take a British transfer record. Liverpool have sort of already broke the British transfer record. If the add-ons gets triggered with Wirtz, 116 million. To break it twice in the same window, obviously, is a big statement of intent. It shows Liverpool are serious as well. But in terms of like the player, like obviously we signed Ekitike for 79 million, around that with add-ons. How do you see sort of do you think they'll play together, or do you think sort of how do you see it sort of working out, signing both Ekitike and Isak?
Yeah, so it's a good problem to have. It's a good headache to have, the kind that we haven't been used to having in recent years. And I think it just gives the coach complete flexibility. I think obviously some people find it hard to believe, but I think Ekitike can definitely do some bits on the left wing. I think Isak can do some bits on the left wing. I think you're not really, it's not the end of the world. I think some people kind of acting like, oh, if you don't have them up front, they're going to be completely useless to the team. I don't think that's the case. I think that
Mm.
either of them can kind of do shifts on the out wide. You actually get a bit more space out there in terms of receiving the ball, and you can kind of ghost into the box as opposed to kind of being the focal number 9. So they might actually both benefit from being able to kind of rotate, going out wide and being the front man and occupying defenders, because occupying a whole back line it's not easy, and it's actually a talent that few strikers have, which is why the striker market is kind of cooked right now. But Isak is one of those players that he can literally occupy a whole back line. He can pop up here, there, and everywhere. I definitely think an EK and Isak front two, which isn't beyond the realms of possibility. I think that definitely has the dynamic that can work. I would actually be really excited to see how that would look and how that would play. So yeah, I think they've done the right thing in terms of, I'm sure they would have informed Ekatike in the personal terms that this move could be a possibility and they were looking at Isak. And I reckon he still buys into it. And I think good players want to play with good players at the end of the day. So yeah, whichever way Slot wants to use them, obviously with Wirtz and Salah as well. I think it's going to work, to be honest. I don't really see it. I don't really see it not clicking.
Yeah. Look, it's another great headache to have for Slot because, you know, we've seen last season a lot of the time he ended up playing Diaz as a number 9. Obviously, Jota had some injury issues. Darwin wasn't fancied. So yeah, having both, which I didn't see coming, if I'm being honest. I spoke to Fahid. We sometimes chat about Liverpool, Arsenal, and off stream. Very early on, I told him we're going to spend maybe 300, maybe a bit more million gross. It was maybe I don't know if it was a surprise to you at the time, because obviously it was to a lot of people. And I said I had a feeling we're gonna spend this level of money. I didn't see us doing this, where buying 2 big strikers. But again, it's a sort of a nice surprise. But where we're at in terms of the deal, it seems like well, we'll see. They're on training, aren't they? Singapore, I think, Newcastle.
Yeah.
And he sort of hasn't travelled. It looks like Liverpool are now waiting for Newcastle sort of to get their ducks in the row. So I think Sesko's been linked with Newcastle. So once that happens, I think you'll see Liverpool go in with a bid. But yeah, in terms of this signing, obviously, I want to get your thoughts as well, Fahid, on the Isak signing. How do you feel as an Arsenal fan? Obviously, we'll talk about Gyokeres shortly. Obviously, big signing for you guys as well. But in terms of Isak, are you annoyed? Are you frustrated? As in, if Isak, we were told Isak's not available, sort of, at the start of the window or early on this season. Do you feel like you maybe should have waited a bit more, try get Isak, or what would you make of the move?
It's quite interesting. So obviously we've got our new sporting director with Andrea Berta, and then previously with Edu, our moves would be usually last day of the deadline, a little Sterling on loan or something completely useless. So it was I saw a tweet online that was quite funny. It was like, funny enough, if we had Edu, we probably would have been in a position to maybe even challenge for Isak because we wouldn't have done our business early. Which whether Isak says yes to us is another question. I know a lot of Arsenal fans seem to think he's given his word to us. That was about last year, but I think when the champions come calling for you, I think his head's swayed. I think he wants to go that way. I think if you guys do manage to get him, it's probably a game-changing signing, not even just in the Premier League, probably just in Europe. It makes you guys up there with Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG instantly. Not that you guys already aren't, but it just takes you to that level where you're just considered a lot more serious. If you can stay injury-free, if the players can gel. So that was another question I had for you guys. With all the new signings that's come in, how is it going to gel? Does Isak affect Salah's numbers? Are you guys worried about any of that, or are you guys just happy to be greedy and let all these players come in and figure the rest out on the pitch?
I'll let you take this one, Manny.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's the big question, and I think it's the only kind of fair thing to bring up when you're signing this many players. You never know how it's going to gel, how the chemistry is going to work. Some things just kind of work. But yeah, I've got confidence, to be honest. I think last season Slot has kind of shown us that the way he likes to do things, he really does aid the attackers. I think he does really kind of put that into practice in terms of their training, in terms of the teams that he puts out. I think that the profiles that Edwards goes for as well. I think Edwards, who's now obviously running football operations. I can imagine it's a big influence on Richard Hughes, who's our sporting director as well. And I feel like they're very smart people. I think they've earned the kind of right to be trusted in terms of the profiles they bring in and how they see them fitting. So yeah, I personally think it will be okay. I think that the kind of benefit of the players you've gone for, and why I love the fact you've gone for both Ekitike and Isak, is that um I don't think for the kind of team we are, that the out and out pure number nine is going to kind of work for us. I think that we do need players that can drop deep and link up with the midfield and pop up in different areas. I think that's the kind of only way that our team can flourish with the striker. And that's why Diaz ended up playing there, because Diaz is one of those players that could just float about, get the ball, and you start running with it, gets us up the pitch. And I think that's qualities that both Isak and Ekitike have. And Ekitike himself, he kind of sees himself not just as finisher, but I think he sees himself as a bit of a playmaker, to be fair. So I think players like Salah will still be able to kind of get their own from that. And Salah's kind of a bit more of an assist guy these days as well. Like I see in the pre-season friendly, him and Rose doing 1-2s in front of the keeper. I'm thinking, mate, I mean, Sadio Mane is probably looking at it and wishing like, why did I not play with this Salah? This Salah would have been passing to me all the time, yeah. Before they were just beefing because they never passed. So
Yeah.
it's mad.
To be fair, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how you guys gel. I think it's been a success recipe for you guys, having multiple guys chip in with goals, and I think that's something Arsenal have lacked in massively. We've relied on just one or two players. Liverpool have had at least 4 or 5 that can at least give up to 10 goals or more. City have now suffered from that as well, having a lack of goals from multiple areas. And yeah, it's definitely a good problem to have.
Yeah, going back to that point about gelling, I do agree. I think one big part of our success last season was actually that we didn't do any business, because we kept the squad exactly the same. Now, as fans, we like transfers, we like the shiny new toys, we want to buy loads of players. But I think sometimes just keeping it the same actually benefited us last season. We had that chemistry there already. It didn't change too much, and I think that played a part. But looking at what we had to do, I think Trent is the one in terms of played a big role, and Diaz. The other outgoings, the Chiesas, the Nunez's, I'm not too worried in that sense, because I think they barely played anyway last season. It's just more the Trent, the right back situation, which we were forced into doing because Trent left, and the Isak Nunes situation because Nunes hasn't delivered. So, but yeah, I do get that point. That is one thing that I look at the team and think, how quick are they going to take to gel? But I think the forward line needed that revamp, regardless. And we're signing arguably the best striker in the world, or if not, Haaland, Isak, Mbappe, etc. But for me, the quality of players we're buying, it makes me think, makes me confident anyway. I don't know about you, Manny. But yeah, there is obviously that worry there with how long they take to gel.
Yeah, I think the kind of safety net that we do have is that despite all the signings that we brought in, we still do have the nucleus of the team that we've always had. If you think about it, like the players, obviously Diaz, who we've already discussed, is a pretty big loss in terms of what he brings to the team. But in terms of the players that are here and are likely to stay for at least another couple of years, you still got Van Dijk, you still got Alisson. In the midfield, it's still going to be Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister, or any kind of combination of those three. And Salah's still going to be on the right wing. So essentially, in terms of the structure of your team, you still have a lot of the crutch of what made it successful this year before. But as we all hoped, we were able to add in a few players that really up the level. And if Slot is smart, and he is very smart, as we've already seen, he won't change a massive deal in terms of the overall 11, but he's going to swap players that we thought we could upgrade on, if we're being honest. And he's upgraded on them. So this is what we all hoped in terms of, if you go into a transfer window, you're thinking, oh, brilliant. Well, we won the league. These guys are all great, but it'd be great if we got a world-class striker. How good would we be with that? It'd be great if we had, obviously Trent's been replaced, but it'd be great if we had an up-and-coming player to take Robbo's place. Not obviously completely, but, kind of be the next one up. And they just gone and done it, and they've done it with the best level of players that they could really find. And what I love about it, and what I think is just crazy, is that like money just isn't an object to them. It's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like they're I've never experienced it. Like money is not an object to them. Like they are going to negotiation tables and teams are just throwing numbers at them, thinking they're just gonna walk away, and then they just turn around and the money's just there, bro. It's just on the table, just ready for it. And it's like they got the list of targets they wanted, and they're like, by hook or by crook, you are joining our club. Like we're not getting priced out. You're not getting rejected. Like we're doing whatever it takes to get our plan A into the building. So yeah, you can only respect it. Big hustle from the owners and the directors.
Yeah, 100%. I echo the same thoughts. I think we've maybe in the past been accused of maybe not going the extra yard, maybe not pushing the boat out after our success winning the Champions League, winning the Premier League, and we sort of buy an Adrian or a Harvey Elliott. But this time it seems like we're here and we mean business. We want to go on and win another one back to back. We want to sort of be dominant like how City have done it. But we'll see. Obviously, signings are all great, but it matters what happens on the pitch. And next season is definitely, I'm excited to see how it goes. And if Isak happens, obviously it's not done yet, but yeah, it will be a massive signing. In terms of other strikers, I want to come on to Gyokeres in a sec and discuss what it means for Arsenal. Anyone else Jordan, do you want to give your thoughts on Isak? Because obviously, what are your thoughts on Isak? Because obviously I'm sure you're a big fan. In terms of FPL, obviously Isak smashed it last year. What do you make of the player?
Yeah, the massive great season. Obviously last season for Newcastle. It's going to be a massive loss for them, obviously, to lose him, because who thought that obviously Isak won't obviously stay at Newcastle and potentially move into Liverpool. And I said, if that ever happened, where Isak moves to Liverpool, I'd say the season's done, in my opinion. With all these big signings that Liverpool are signing, especially Isak, to just the icing on the top. That's it, I think, for Liverpool. That's if they can work together all together well in the team, then yeah, I feel like it kind of reminds me of old Man United in the Ferguson era, where teams were scared, obviously, to play against obviously the legends that were there. And I feel like Liverpool now building that, and with Isak potentially going there as well. Yeah, I feel like clubs in the season will be afraid to play against Liverpool if obviously it all goes well for them, which I believe it will. I doubt it will be sort of like a stagnant sort of chemistry between them. I think it will gel pretty quickly. And yeah, Isak, obviously the fans won't be happy. Obviously Isak exploring other opportunities to go to other clubs and whatnot, but that's just business at the end of the day. Football is a cruel, obviously, sport in terms of that. So yeah, I mean, Isak to Liverpool is exciting. Be very intrigued as a Man United fan how he obviously gets on. If he can keep that momentum like he did at Newcastle, where he's scoring almost every game, it will be thrilling, obviously, to see him in the Liverpool shirt as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the shirt if it happens, but don't want to count my chickens yet. Obviously, still we need to bid. I think the bid will go in next 48 hours. I think you'll see an Ornstein tweet, Joyce, whoever. I think they'll come out. And yeah, guys, I'm hearing 135 million to go in. So we'll see. Let's move it on then we spoke quite a lot about Liverpool. I want to move on to Arsenal. Gyokeres, the big one.
Yes.
Let me shine.
Obviously, Arsenal, just, last season, a big part of the critics, they need a striker. It's the lack of goals, missing chances. They've gone out and signed Gyokeres. I want to get your thoughts, obviously, as an Arsenal fan, your initial thoughts. Are you happy with the signing? In terms of the other options, sort of you were linked with, Sesko was another one that we heard, links. We also heard early on, maybe March, Isak would be, Arteta's favorite target. But Gyokeres, talk to me. How do you feel about it?
So I think first, obviously, Isak's number one. Isak gone off the table. So I think it's a toss-up between Gyokeres and Sesko. I think the fan base were quite torn. A lot of people like the project of Sesko, getting someone in younger. A lot of people just like the idea of Gyokeres, someone who's just ready, proven goal scorer, going straight off the bat. I was in the second camp. I was more for Gyokeres. I think the biggest criticism of Arsenal lately has been we could do everything but put the ball in the net. We're at a point where our squad is almost in a win now situation. I think the ship will sail in a couple of seasons if we don't win something. Sacco will be getting older. Saliba will be thinking about moving. We've got Gabriel who's aging. We've got a lot of key players who are basically in their prime. Declan Rice as well. Obviously, he might have a couple more years in him. It's something that I would worry about if we don't win in the next season or two. And by win, I don't mean an FA Cup, I mean something big. So that's why I was more in the Gyokeres camp. From doing the tapes and a bit of the research, I think Sesko's agent played a lot of hardball. I think so. What I'm hearing is Sesko was Arteta's choice and Gyokeres was Berta's choice. We weren't really linked with Gyokeres until Berta came in. Sesko's agent played hardball, tried to see because he knows we've been in for him for about 2 or 3 seasons. So I feel like they tried their hand. They overplayed it. Berta told them to do one. Sesko wasn't happy that he wasn't going to be getting basically 100% of the minutes. He was told he would have to compete with Havertz. And for some reason, Kai Havertz scared the life out of Sesko. And that straight away gives me a massive red flag. I don't want, like, that's not the mentality we need. I feel like we've got that with Jesus when he's come out in an interview and said goals aren't his speciality. And like, I'm tired of hearing strikers that just don't put the ball in the net. And then you hear Gyokeres in all his interviews talking about goals. Erdegaard gave him a little letter, asked him, how can I help you? And he just said, just give me assists. Like, this is what we need at Arsenal. We've been waiting for it for a long time. I think the last like out and out striker we've had is probably like Van Persie, Aubameyang, and these are players from a long time ago. It feels like it's the right move. I don't think he's going to have a lot to do in terms of his weak points, in terms of maybe his dribbling or stuff. I still think it's relatively decent. It's probably a little bit better than everyone gives him credit for. I think his main stat that really appeals to me, apart from the goals, is just his pressing. He's averaging about 4.9 successful presses a game, which is quite high, and it suits our system. Our pre-season, it looks like we're kind of shifting to be a little bit more direct to find Gyokeres. I've seen us do a lot more long balls, and we're being a little bit more aggressive when we win the ball encounters. So my expectation for Gyokeres this season is really high, and I think he likes the pressure as well. So I think it's a great signing.
Manny, have you watched much of Gyokeres? What's your thoughts on the signing? Obviously, if we get Isak, Gyokeres is another player that's been not had concrete links with us, but some of our fans, were looking at him as an option. Do you like the player? Do you think he can maybe take Arsenal over the line next season? Or
Yeah, no, I think Gyokeres is a good player, and I think that in terms of Arsenal, in terms of the market of strikers, I think they definitely got one of the best options that are readily available. I think with Gyokeres, I think the key is really with like what Faye said, Arsenal do need to change or tweak how they play to get the best out of him because, Gyokeres is one of those players. When you win the ball back, he's on his back and he's running into the space. And, Arsenal, they do kind of like to kind of do their patterns and kind of like gradually get themselves up the pitch and then kind of do the penetrative passes that way. And I think that would be really frustrating for Gyokeres. That's kind of not anywhere how he played at Lisbon. Where the opportunity arises, you have to be playing him in, similar to kind of what City were doing with Haaland in his first season. I think you just got to kind of feed him into that space. And look, in your scoring, was it? I think he's got 100 goals in 2 seasons. I think a lot of people obviously put what's it called Portuguese tax on that, but even if with Portuguese tax, like you're still getting like 20 goals Premier League, like you know what I mean? Like you can't expect him not to convert at least a good portion of those goals to the Premier League. And he already played in England with Coventry and had a decent record in the Championship. Many players who had good records in the Championship came to the Prem and also had good seasons, e.g. Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, Mitrovic, do you know what I mean? So I think in terms of a risk, the thing that surprised me so much really was why it took so long for Arsenal to get the deal done. Because I'm thinking the whole summer, it was like we already knew from ages Gyokeres is going to be available, 70 mil. Like with that goal record and that price, it's like surely it's a no-brainer. And then it's like they're kind of trying to negotiate it, like haggling over a couple mil here and there. And I'm like, that's a bit strange because I thought, as I say, the goal was the same anywhere in the world. And when you know where the goal is, you know where the goal is, to be fair. And he's got the physicality for the Premier League as well. So, yeah, I thought that that would have been wrapped up quicker. But nonetheless, they've got the player. And in terms of getting them over the line, it's hard to say. Like, he'll definitely get the goals for them. Like, I don't think it'll be for the want of him getting goals. You know what I mean? But it's just so hard now, man. Like, if you think about it, like, there's about 3 or 4 teams that go into the season that feel that they must win a major. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we've spent so much money, we must win a major. Arsenal spent kind of, because we've spent a lot of money, it's kind of gone under the radar. But Arsenal have also had like a pretty wicked summer, like by their standards. Like, they brought a lot of players in. If they bring Eze, then you might even have to say after Liverpool's it's the best summer in the Prem. And then Man City kind of gone under the radar. They spent earlier in the window. I think probably, what was it? I think 1 year, 2 year extension. He's gonna be thinking he's got to win the league. So yeah, it's going to be really difficult for teams to get the trophies when there's only 2 big ones available.
Yeah. So you're gonna say something, Fight?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, yeah, with the whole the delay in it, it was like, as like a fan, it's so frustrating just seeing the same repeated tweet from Fabrizio like 15 times. But I think it's something we're probably trying to change, the perception about Arsenal. I think previously Edu was just getting ragdolled by clubs left, right, and centre. I mean, Chelsea getting him for free and then selling him to Barca like 30 million, stuff like that. I think we played hardball and it worked in our favour. I think now it's kind of sent a message to the rest of the clubs that, like, what we say is what's going to happen. There's not going to be much budget on it. I think it was literally like a case of 5 mil in terms of add-ons and how the criteria of the add-ons. But from what I've read, it all looks pretty good now in our favour. So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I did read the Athletic piece. They released a piece. I think it was Gunner Blog or someone with Ornstein. I think it was just the add-ons sort of they were haggling over. And I think they also had a set price. I think it was 65 million. They didn't want to go over that price. But yeah, looking at, for me personally, when I look at the Gyokeres deal, I think they got a good price. And you look at the market, 65 million for a player that scored that many goals. Me personally, I do think there is a Portuguese tax. Manny Nunes that always comes to my mind. I do have that Nunes PTSD.
Yeah, no, I hear it.
But that doesn't mean every player from the Portuguese league is gonna flop. So I'm not watched much of Gyokeres, I'll be honest. So I think jury's out for me. I need to watch him more. I can't give him like a definitive opinion on him. But obviously I did watch him against Man City. He seemed like resilient, like even when they were losing. Against Arsenal, I think even Arsenal winning that game, he was still going, trying to score goals, hitting the post. So yeah, we'll see how he gets on. I think 20 goals would be a fantastic season if he can hit 20 goals. Regardless of Arsenal win the league or not, I think 20 goals will be big for him if he can get those numbers. But yeah, we'll see if he gets pens. I know Saka might give up pens to him. I've seen potentially.
Have you seen that? Have you seen this guy? Like, if you see these kind of little interviews that he's doing, like everything he speaks about is just scoring goals, man. Like, I can't even imagine. Think of a video of Odegaard said, "Is there anything I can do to help you?" And he just goes, "Yeah, just give me some assists."
He didn't give a crap about settling in or anything. He just wants his goals and dip, man.
Just give me my assist.
We've needed that though. We've needed that. We ain't had a player who cares about goals in a long time.
It's true. No, it's very true. It's very true. So yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see how Arsenal play with the actual number 9, because it feels like ages. Has Arteta actually played with a 9? Because he didn't really fancy Aubameyang, did he? Like, he didn't really.
It's Lacazette, but then Lacazette was in his like winter years. He had a bit of a belly. We haven't actually. Nketiah is probably the closest we've seen to like a natural striker in the position, and he had some good stints. There was a period when Jesus got that long injury and Nketiah held it up, got goals against United. But the levels between Gyokeres and Nketiah is massive. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I would be shocked if like it was anything less than like 20 goals. And yeah, he has to take penalties. I think Arteta's already been asked about it and he tried to shy away from it, but he was like saying, "Oh yeah, it's up to the players." But I think it's all over Gyokeres. I think I'm not a fan of strikers that don't take penalties. I just feel like that's your bread and butter. You have to score.
Okay, let's take a few comments. Tricky Trees, do you think Liverpool will still be going for Guehi? And if so, chances of starting right away? Yeah, this one's interesting because I said a couple of weeks ago, it looked like it was nailed on happening. I don't know if you realized, Manny, recently the Guehi links have sort of gone quiet. And from what I'm hearing is he's quite happy to stay there and leave on a free next summer. Because we know the World Cup's coming up. He's guaranteed to play for Palace 90 minutes every game. Whereas if he comes Liverpool, I don't think he's a starter personally. I think Konate is nailed on that right centre back role.
True.
Obviously, we know Konate is not the most reliable. He does miss the odd game. Last season, permitting, he was pretty good injury wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you make of Guehi as a link? And do you think it happens? Because me personally, I think we have to buy a centre back. It's as important as signing an Isak for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's inconceivable to me that we don't buy a centre back before the window ends. Like it's giving me a bit of PTSD of the last title defending season when we sold Lovren, in this case sold Kwanzaa, left ourselves with 3 senior centre backs, 2 of them being injury prone. It was kind of staring everyone in the face what could have possibly happened there. And yeah, you can't be letting history repeat itself. I think even besides Guehi, I like Guehi as a player. I think that it's a really, really good player, and we should definitely get him. If not this summer, then we should get him on a free next year, because then you need to start looking at succession planning for Van Dijk, who, as I say, after the next 2 years, is going to be 36. Like, we're going to have to start thinking of life after him, which is scary to say the least. Yeah, Guehi, captain of his club, international, showed he could do it at the big tournaments like the Euros. I think he was really good at the Euros, to be honest, was an unsung hero. And yeah, I think he's a really good ball player as well. So hopefully, the only thing I worry about is that obviously where he leaves it to go for a free next year, a lot of more suitors are going to be in the mix. I don't know how true it was. I heard Chelsea were looking to get him back. I heard Arsenal in for him as well. So yeah, I think it'll be more competition if we wait till the summer. But of course, I don't think these guys want to kind of overpay for a guy in the last year of his contract, which I can't really knock, to be fair. But yeah, I think they're looking for a young centre back at the moment. I haven't really seen the links though, to be fair. Like the only other links I've seen apart from Hato really were apart from Guehi was Hato.
Yeah.
But
he's off to Chelsea, I think.
It's exactly that, yeah. And I was quite surprised. I was thinking, surprised we didn't rival them for that deal, considering we've been linked with him for quite a long time now. And I think Van Dijk actually recommended him to the hierarchy. He actually sounded him out to say that, yeah, this guy's the next one up. So yeah, no, it's I think their plan is to play him at left back, and I think there are people that say that he doesn't seem to have the physicality to really be centre back in the Premier League, and I do hear that, to be fair. So maybe don't want to take the risk, but yeah, no, we definitely need to get a centre back in, and yeah, I'd personally pay the money for Guehi, but we'll see who we get.
I do think Guehi gets done, but it won't be on Palace's terms. I think we're trying to lowball them. We know they've got 1 year left. We're in a strong position. We don't want to pay 50 million. We're looking to play, I think, closer to 30, 35. You know, as it gets closer to the deadline, will he push for it? We'll see. But yeah, 100% we need a centre back, and I'll take Guehi. I do like him as a good ball playing centre back. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Raf1, gelling won't be an issue when there's tech on the pitch. Everyone's eating. Yep. Yeah, I've seen a couple touches from Wirtz. I don't know if you watched I know we lost the preseason game. But first half, I was liking what Wirtz was looking like with the link up.
Saucy.
Yo, lads, how are we doing? Gyokeres 9 million on FPL. Should we buy? FPL content coming soon. We're not stopping, so we'll make a video on FPL soon. Spending the Coutinho money still. Yeah, everyone's
Bitcoin, man.
That old chestnut.
The Coutinho money everlasting, man. That's why you invest.
Oh, that Coutinho money is long. We probably put it in Ethereum or something. No bids for Isak yet. You'd think he'd be close to signing with all the media hype over him. I think with Isak, I think we're waiting for the dominoes to fall. I think it's the Sesko situation. I think once you see Sesko, crystallize that link, I think you'll see Liverpool put a bid in. I think there's a question for you, Jordan. As a United fan, is the title set to be won by Liverpool with the Isak signing?
I mean, if that is exciting, yes, I could say positively with confidence, yes, that title is set in stone for Liverpool. And that is a bold, obviously, comment to say before the season even started. But I mean, if you see Liverpool season after season, it's just going strong and strong. I mean, Salah just had his prime of the season, and obviously he's obviously staying for Liverpool. And yeah, with the new addition, Isak potentially in the signing, then yeah, I mean, it's a lot to contend against. Let's be honest, for Liverpool in that team for what the other clubs have signed so far. I mean, it's a lot to contend with, let's just say, this season. But it will be interesting to see who keeps up with obviously Liverpool. Obviously, Arsenal will be the running, but I want to see what Man City do because they did have a slight drop off last season. I want to see if they sort of have a resurgence of form and sort of stay obviously in the title race with Liverpool and Arsenal. But yeah, with other clubs, I think the sort of still a climb to reach that obviously where Liverpool and Arsenal and obviously Man City are. So yeah, at the moment, yeah, I think the title is set if Isak comes to Liverpool.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, still needs to sign him, but yeah, it would. Manny, would you be confident? I mean, would you be saying, can we go back to back if this can happen, this signing?
Absolutely, man. I think it's fair to be confident. I think, to be fair, even without the Isak signing, I've got a pretty big confidence that we can win the league again. I really like the way that we're playing. I think that we brought in the right players. I think when you bring in a Isak, you've just got a certain level of guarantee when it comes to goals. And being able to put the chances away. And we create a lot of chances that a clinical finisher definitely can benefit from. And the thing is with Mo Salah, he's in his creative era at the moment. Like he really likes setting people up, but he can't set himself up. And he's the best finisher in the team. So we do need to get him some running mates in terms of actual finishing of chances and putting some of his chances away that he sets up. So yeah, I think Isak would be a great addition, man. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, in terms of this comment as well, who will score more, Isak if he joins Liverpool or Gyokeres? We'll probably do another video closer to the season starts. So in terms of predictions, where we think top 4, top 6, top goal scorer. But yeah, let's I can't see if Isak stays fit, 38 games.
Yeah, it's the fitness. That's what I was gonna say because you know what I mean?
He does lack here and there because of injury.
I'm putting it on Gyokeres, man. I think Havertz got 9 goals, Mourinho got 7. That's 16 with 2 bums. You're adding this to our side plan.
We'll see. For sure, it's going to be good.
Yeah, it's the injury thing. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely should be a good one. Bruno Fernandes last season, can they avoid relegation? Let's quickly discuss Man United. We've got Man United fan on there. I don't want to be dismissive of Man United. Where do we start? Obviously, Man United didn't have a great season last year. I think it's fair to say. They have signed 2 players. I think they're 2 good signings. I like both the players. Cunha was done early, I think about 65 million. They've got Mbeumo over the line. I think it's around 70 million. Jordan, are you happy with the 2 players? Because obviously they've got pedigree. When you look at what they scored last season, I think Mbeumo got 20 goals. I think Cunha got, I want to say 15. I'm not sure. So it's a lot of goals coming into the team for a team that struggled at points or majority of the season last year. What do you make of these 2 signings? And do you think, what are your sort of expectations? Do you think, get back into Europe, or how do you see your season and these 2 players?
Well, I think obviously finishing in the top half of the table will be a start, considering we almost were obviously relegated last season. But yeah, I'm excited for these 2 obviously signings, top goal scorers individually from both of their teams, coming to Man United in their obviously great form. It all depends obviously on the chemistry of the rest of the players playing around them, because we see these top class players coming to Man United, but they're not performing obviously around the other individuals, and I think that's what's lacked obviously in the past, like we've seen from Højlund, not really clicking up front. Gyokeres, another example, didn't really work out. I mean, these players that have come from obviously big clubs, expectations have been really high, and then when it comes to the moment, it's been absolute car crash or disaster. So I'm hoping with obviously Burma and Cunha in the team, combined obviously with Bruno, obviously in the midfield, I feel like that will give it more like solidification in that midfield, more chemistry, more teamwork, and obviously more attack that we haven't really seen from Man United. I think it's been more defensive play and hoping that the goalkeeper does well, kind of thing, and just hoping Man United get over the line without being embarrassingly losing, obviously to teams that we expect to win against. But yeah, I have high hopes and positivity, obviously, for Man United to climb back up to where they were with Amorim. I still have faith in him. Obviously, he didn't have a full season Man United last time, so he's had time, obviously, to work with the squad, and hopefully with Cunha and Burma in the team, we can see a more positive season.
Yeah, I've seen links to a striker. I think Sesko. You're still trying to get him. Obviously Newcastle. I hope he goes Newcastle. Obviously, for the domino effect. But yeah, look, Man United. I think getting again back into European football, whether that's Europa League, Conference League, I think they've just got to get back into competing at the top end again. Cunha definitely will, should get you goals. And Mbumo as well. As long as they play him in his correct position, I think I am slightly concerned where he's going to play. That's my only worry because usually he comes off the right. I think if they play him at a sort of left-sided 10, I'm not sure he'll get those numbers, but we'll see.
No.
Yeah, in terms of comments here, did I miss anything? Sorry, I didn't read this out fully, did I? If Cunha can get goal involvements, he could be as reliable as Bruno. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. For sure.
I think that's what we need though, because we seem to be always relying on Bruno to obviously provide the attackers with assists or himself scoring. Obviously for Man United, and it doesn't seem like anyone else is getting involved as much as he is in every match. So it would be nice to see, other than Bruno doing all the hard work, sort of the rest of the team obviously chipping in, working together. Because if you could duplicate Bruno about 11 times, then yeah, I can say you're in the top 5 right there. But obviously you can't beat that quality. So it would be nice to see other quality other than Bruno for Man United perform.
Yeah, now for sure. Definitely looking forward to that first game, Man United Arsenal. Hey, don't rule out Man United doing something on that first game. I promise you.
It's a massive banana slip. I would not be surprised. Old Trafford as well. I don't think our record.
It's one of those games you don't want to play. I don't think, even though Man United aren't great.
Any time of the season, you just don't want to play it because when United decide that they want to be on it, and I think when the fans are on it as well, in first game of the season, they're going to have a lot of excitement.
True.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
I think when the fans aren't on it, Old Trafford is a lot easier place, but when they're on it, it's tough.
3-0 Arsenal.
We'll see. Test for the first game against Arsenal.
Comment here, Anup. If Arsenal sign Eze, I'm backing them to win the title. Eze is another one we've not really spoke about today. We will speak more about Arsenal once Eze gets. There are rumors now, stronger rumors that it looks like they will also get Eze. So we will discuss this in the future streams. I just want to say, guys, if you are enjoying the content, obviously please do smash the like button, and also make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. You may have noticed, obviously, a bit of a rebrand, a couple of new faces. I am looking to rebrand the channel and sort of grow it back. I've not been as consistent, but yeah, thank you for the comment. Great to see you guys doing more content away from FPL. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different content coming. We will still do the FPL stuff, maybe on like a Sunday or something as a smaller show. But yeah, do stay tuned because there's a lot of plans to come with the content this season. Pranav as well. If Isak gets in, what is the most preferred front three from LFC in FPL? Okay, FPL wise, just very quickly, I think Salah is still the GOAT. You probably have to have him. It puts me off Wirtz a bit. If we get Isak, I would have went Wirtz and Salah, but now I think Isak and Salah are the two I'll be looking at, and maybe Van Dijk in the back, maybe triple up on Liverpool. But it's interesting with Isak because obviously he took penalties at Newcastle. He won't take penalties here.
Yeah,
no chance.
No chance there.
That will impact his number slightly, but the amount of chances, you think Manny last season, that 2020 on record, if it wasn't because of these other strikers,
man. it was yeah. I think Diaz was guilty
Yeah,
of that. Like back end of the
yeah,
season, like he could have broke that record in one game.
yeah,
Um, that's what I mean. Like if you can just get someone like Isak in, at least you know. And the same with Ekatike. Like there's some good
yep,
sitters that are there ready to be hit.
yeah.
That we haven't been converting. So just being able to tap it into an open goal, you're already going to be on a good stead. So
Mm,
yeah, I'm sure that our attackers, Liverpool attackers in FPL, historically are usually good ones to have. For example, Gakpo has always been a decent shout, and obviously, God rest his soul, Joe was always a good one back in the day. But because of the way we play, I think Liverpool attackers are just always going to be in with a shout and get loads of points. But obviously, Salah's
yeah.
going to be the main man, as he always is.
Yeah, and then just quickly we'll touch up on Chelsea as well very quickly. They're doing a bit of a madness as well this summer. I think they're going to get Hato. It looks like 40 million euros, he's a player that was linked with Liverpool. Arsenal had tentative links with him as well. Decent player. I was interested in getting him because obviously he's versatile, can play left back, but it seems like he's off, so that's one to watch. Also, Javi Simmons.
Mm.
I don't know what your thoughts are on him as a player, but he was one that I was looking at Liverpool potentially buying because I didn't think would get worse. I thought it might be, out of our realms. Very early on, in January, I was looking at if we need a 10, he is an option. So I think he's a decent player. I do like him, but obviously we've went and signed Vert, so I'm not too fast. But
No,
Chelsea are
never.
doing major moves. And anyone been impressed with Chelsea's? They had a really good Club World Cup. I actually think Chelsea, for once, are buying some good players.
Yeah, I think so too. I think João Pedro is a great signing.
Yeah.
They're going for a bit more proven players this time rather than up and coming. So I think, yeah, they're in good stead. It would just be about squad management and keeping them all happy, getting the right. Because no matter how many good talents you have to have at least a solid 12 or 13 that are going to play most of the
Yep.
league games to get some kind of good chemistry going. If you're chopping and changing every week, you can't expect good results, in my opinion. So it'll be interesting to see how they manage that. I think that would be their biggest challenge.
Yeah, and I've also seen, I think João Felix is going to Al Nassr for a profit. I think 45 million euros, I think, something crazy. Can't believe that. But Chelsea, they managed to do it. I don't know how. Every time they get a sale, Madueke, they got Felix out. Yeah, fair play to Chelsea. I'm liking their business a bit more than previous years, I should say, under this new ownership. City, did we quickly touch on City? Are you guys excited by their moves, or do you think any needle movers in there? Do you think, what do you make of Manny? I want to get your thoughts on City. I've not heard your thoughts on him.
Yeah, City's weird.
Your mic,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah, just gone off for a sec.
Yeah, no worries, man. At the start of the window, I think you see the signings they were bringing in, and they were kind of quick pace. Every day they're kind of linked with a new player. Had here he goes, kind of just coming out of nowhere, and they brought in some really good players. Can't knock it. Like Reinders, top player, man. I've always been a big fan of him. Suits City down to a T in the Club World Cup, which I watched. He was brilliant. So he's going to be a good signing for them. Obviously, this is the season of Rodri comes back, which is going to be really
Yep.
interesting because I don't know if you guys saw the Club World Cup. Like he struggled in those games. Like he was really kind of struggling to keep up with the pace. His passing was quite off. Like it's going to take him a while to get to the levels that he used to be. So that's obviously something to contest with. I'm really interested to see how Rayan Cherki comes and fits into the league because big fan of him. That's you mentioned Chidi Simmons was your kind of option before thinking about words. Cherki was my option. I thought that when I saw that we were linked with him, I was mad excited and I was really hoping we were going to go ahead and do that. But obviously, happy with Verts completely. But when City got Cherki, I was like, wow, yeah, that's a really good signing. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they use him. Their attack looks completely mint. I'm a big fan of their attack. And Pep knows how to coach an attack. But the one thing with City is that their defense still doesn't look like it's improved. They bought Ain't Nuri, who doesn't really improve them defensively, is more another option going forward, which they already have. Their centre backs, John Stones, kind of fallen off, injury prone. Ruben Diaz not been consistent of late. Kanji again had a really poor last season. You don't know how he's going to respond this season,
Mm-hmm.
and they still don't have a right back. Like they've been trying to get Livramento from Newcastle. And they're playing hardball with that. And obviously, in our circumstances, we'd probably rather that doesn't happen because they can't get all their team snatched. So, yeah, I think City's defense is still something that teams should look at as a vulnerability. And with Rodri, like I said, not coming back, looking like he's going to take time to adjust at least. There could be a bit of like a soft center that you can expose with City, to be fair, but we'll have to see how they come back. Also, another side note, I think any team that played in that Club World Cup is going to feel a bit of effect from it, especially Chelsea. I think they're basically going to have no pre-season. I don't think that's going to be something that can't be ignored.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I haven't given my thoughts on City much, but I do think they need a couple more right back. I think it's important. It looks like they got Trafford over the line as well, the goalkeeper, like 40 million, which is interesting. But yeah, we've done an hour, guys. It's gone quite quick today. I mean, we'll be back again, I'm sure, for another stream. I thought I'd get you guys on to discuss, football and our teams. But yeah, I just want to say to all the people on the stream, if you can, please hit the like button. Make sure you stay subscribed. Again, there's a lot more content to come. And we'll probably be streaming again shortly. We might make this more of a regular thing. If you guys enjoy it, let us know. And if you're watching on a playback as well, guys, make sure you do just comment something because it helps with the algorithm. But yeah, thanks to Manny for joining today. Fahid as well. I appreciate you guys' time. Jordan as always. I appreciate you, joining the stream. It was quite a last minute one, but definitely one to, we're going to carry on moving forward with it. Do you guys want to add anything else, or we wrap it here?
I think I'm happy to be here, man. Thanks for the invite. It was good to talk to you guys.
Sure.
Keep it coming, man.
Good show, for sure.
Coming. I end it with this, man.
Hey, no excuses next season.
Next episode, man. Next episode.
Thank you guys for watching, and take care.
Peace.
Take care. Bye.
There you go.